Hi everyone, welcome to Impact Academy. Today let us continue with the science and technology. Okay. Last class we've seen till 30 questions, right? So today let us continue with the 31st question. So consider the following statements with respect to the ozone depleting substances. So let us look at what are ozone depleting substances. So the Montreal Protocol on substances that deplete the ozone layer is a global agreement to protect the Earth's ozone layer. So in the 1970s, the scientists have found out that these CFCs, okay, chlorofluorocarbons, CFCs, which are being used in the refrigeration, air conditioning, etc., they are causing depletion of the ozone layer. So they came up with the Montreal Protocol, which is saying to ban CFCs. So after the banning of the CFCs, then came the HFCs, which are hydrofluorocarbons. Now the hydrofluorocarbons are not exactly ozone depleting substances, but they are having greenhouse gas effect. Okay, although they do not deplete the ozone layer, they are known to be powerful greenhouse gases. So that's also not a good thing. So then they came up with this Kigali Agreement. Okay, this Kigali is a place in Rwanda. Okay, they came up with this Kigali Agreement in 2016. So Montreal Protocol came in 1987, entered into force in 1989, and the Kigali Amendment came in 2016, which called for the phase down of hydrofluorocarbons also. Okay, so Montreal Protocol is dealing with the ozone depleting substances of CFC, and then came Kigali Agreement, which is saying even the HFCs are bad. They have greenhouse gas effect, even though they are not ozone depleting. They have greenhouse gas effect. So reduce the HFC also. That is Kigali Agreement. Okay, so try to remember. So under the Kigali Agreement, parties to the Montreal Protocol will phase down production and consumption of hydrofluorocarbons, which are HFC. Hydrofluorocarbons were introduced as a non-depleting, non-ozone depleting alternative to this is CFC, not HFC. Okay, to CFC. Fine. So while HFCs do not deplete the stratospheric ozone layer, they have a high global warming potential. Okay, so remember this: HFCs are not exactly like CFCs. CFCs that are the chlorofluorocarbons are damaging the ozone layer, but HFCs are not exactly depleting the ozone layer, but they are causing greenhouse gas effect. So HFCs are also bad. So Kigali, Rwanda. Kigali is a place in Rwanda. Rwanda is in Africa, and what they approved is they will approve a timeline for the gradual reduction of the HFCs to 80 to 85% by the late 2040s. Okay, so by 2040s they are trying to reduce HFCs also by 80 to 85 because they have greenhouse gas effect. Next, India will complete its phase down of HFCs in 4 steps. Okay, from 2032 onwards. So by 2047, we will also try to reach 85%. India has successfully met the phase out targets of all the ozone depleting substances as per the Montreal Protocol. That means Montreal Protocol means CFC. Today, India, we are no longer using CFC, chlorofluorocarbons. Okay, we are only using HFCs and HCFCs, hydrochlorofluorocarbons. Okay, but not CFC. That's very important. So now consider the following statement with respect to the ozone depleting substances. He's saying Montreal Protocol and Kigali Amendment both address the issues related to ozone depleting substances. Now understand this, Montreal Protocol is dealing exclusively with ozone depleting substances, CFCs. It has banned them. But Kigali Amendment, which was done in 2016, is, of course, it's an amendment to the Montreal Protocol, but it is dealing with HFC. Okay, Montreal Protocol is dealing with CFC. Kigali Amendment is dealing with HFC. Now, HFC is not a ozone depleting substance, but it has a greenhouse gas effect. So, not both do not address the issue of ozone depleting substances. Only Montreal Protocol is addressing the issue of ozone depleting substances. Okay. So the Kigali Amendment aims to reduce HFCs by 80 to 85% by 2040s. We have seen. Okay. By the 2047, Kigali Amendment aims to reduce HFCs, which is not a ozone depleting substance, but it is more like a greenhouse gas. So that is correct. One is wrong, two is correct. India has successfully met the phase out targets of all ozone depleting substances, that is the CFCs. Today, we no longer use CFC. So that is true. We have met everything as per the Montreal Protocol schedule. So 2 and 3 are right. Only 2 are correct. Fine. So look at the 32nd question. So with reference to the ethanol blending program in India, which is very important, okay, consider the following statement. So let us quickly look at what is the ethanol blending program. So ethanol, which is the anhydrous ethyl alcohol, is produced from sugarcane, maize, wheat, etc., which are having high starch content. In India, ethanol is mainly produced from sugarcane molasses. By the fermentation process, ethanol can be mixed with the gasoline to form different blends. Okay, ethanol blending program seeks to achieve the blending of ethanol with water spirit with a view to reducing pollution, conserving foreign exchange, and increasing the value addition in sugar industry by enabling them to clear cane prices to farmers. Basically, India imports most of its oil needs from abroad. So that comes at a huge price of foreign exchange reserves because we have to pay in dollars and all this. So by doing this ethanol blending program, for example, you have to use 100 liters. In the 100 liters, suppose you're blending 20 liters with ethanol blending. So you have saved 20 liters worth of dollars, right? Yeah, because you don't need not import from. It will basically reduce your import bill also. So ethanol blending is a very important. So the level of ethanol blending in petrol is currently 9.98. So India had targeted 10% ethanol blending by 2022, which is over. So currently 2030, this is the present one, 20% ethanol blending. So if you look at the national biofuel policy also, it will say 20% blending of ethanol by 2030. Okay, as per this national biofuel policy 2018. Okay, and 5% blending of biodiesel in diesel. Remember that also, it is here. See, the center has also targeted a 5% blending of biodiesel with diesel by 2030. These two are very, very important. One thing is 20% blending by 2030, 5% blending by 2030. That is petrol, this is diesel. Fine. So the amended national biofuel policy 2018 has now set the new target for 2025-26 instead of 2030. So because we are already reached 9.9%, we need to go to 20. So in order to increase the speed, what the government has done is now instead of 2030, it said you have to finish the target by 25-26. So to achieve this target within the time frame, central government announced premium rates for ethanol produced from sugar syrup, cane juice, as well as B-heavy molasses. Okay. So the center has also targeted a 5% blending of biodiesel with diesel by 2030. Okay, mixing 20% ethanol in petrol can potentially reduce the auto fuel import bill by 30,000 crores. So, just by mixing 20% with biofuel, that is ethanol in petrol, you can reduce the import bill by 30,000 crore. Fine. In India, Department of Food and Public Distribution is the nodal department for the promotion of fuel grade ethanol producing distilleries in the country. So, this is also very important because because we're talking about fuels, suppose if there is a statement which says that the Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas deals with this, so you will think that is the right option because we're talking about fuel, but because we're talking about ethanol, okay. So we're talking about ethanol, and ethanol is a biofuel which comes from food, sugarcane, maize, etc. So the Department of Food and Public Distribution is the nodal department for the promotion of fuel grade ethanol producing distilleries in the country. It launched the interest subvention scheme. That is, it will give back the interest for enhancement and augmentation of the ethanol production capacity. So if you take 100 crore loan for a new plant, okay, under the interest subvention scheme, whatever interest you are paying on that loan, some of the interest will be given back to you by the government. Okay, that is the interest subvention scheme, which is very popular in the case of farmers also. Okay, usually farmers take loan. If they repay the loan in a certain time, the interest which they had to pay will be usually given back by the government. Okay, so that is called as the interest subvention scheme. So, with reference to the ethanol blending program in India, consider the following statements. India has advanced the target of 20% ethanol blending in petrol from 2030 to 25 to 26. So remember this, very important because most people would have already read 20% by 2030. Okay, 20% of ethanol in petrol by 2030, 5% of biodiesel in diesel by 2030. Those are the standard. But that has been reduced to 25-26 already. So this is a very important current affair bit. Okay. So Department of Food and Public Distribution is the nodal department for promotion of fuel grade ethanol producing distilleries in the country. This is very much true. Okay. So you might think, what is the food this thing doing with petrol and diesel, right? But because it is being produced from sugarcane and etc., that is why it is. Okay, so consider the following: increase in research octane number, higher flame speed, lesser fuel requirement for the same engine output. How many of the above benefits of ethanol blending? So again, ethanol blending is a very important concept. So let us look at what is the concept of ethanol blending. So ethanol is one of the principal biofuels which is naturally produced by the fermentation of sugars by yeast or by a petrochemical process such as ethylene hydration. Basically, it's a biofuel, okay, which comes from fermentation of sugars. So sugarcane and all these things. So it has medical applications as an antiseptic and disinfectant. So basically alcohol, right? So the alcohol which we have, which everyone consumes, that is also a disinfectant and antiseptic also. Okay. So it is used as a chemical solvent and in the synthesis of organic compounds, apart from being an alternative fuel source also. So that is about ethanol. So ethanol blending offers significant advantages such as increase in the research octane number, okay, of the blend, fuel embedded oxygen and higher flame speed. So these are the benefits. You are going to get higher flame speed, research octane number is going to increase. So these properties of ethanol help in complete combustion and reduce vehicular emissions such as hydrocarbon, carbon monoxide and particulate matter. Okay, so they will reduce the emissions of the vehicles also, this carbon dust and everything. So the calorie, so it's a good thing. So blending is not just for money, it's also a good thing. The calorific value of ethanol is around two-thirds that of gasoline. This indicates that the increase in ethanol content will decrease the heating value of the ethylene gasoline blend, as more fuel is required to achieve the same engine power output. So that is one disadvantage, you can say, right? So because when you are mixing with ethanol, the it is going to increase, it will going to decrease the heating value of the blend. Okay, that means more fuel is required to achieve the same engine power. So that is a disadvantage, you can say. However, ethanol has a higher octane number and thus engine can be operated with a high compression ratio without knocking. Okay, this increases the efficiency of the engine considerably. So knocking is that when you go at higher speeds, when the engine is not able to catch up, you get this knocking sound. Okay, so but in the case of ethanol, because it has a higher octane number, even at higher speeds you can manage well. So that is one advantage. This combined with optimal spark timing negates the fuel economy debit due to the low calorific value of ethanol. Okay, hence ethanol is considered as an efficient fuel provided suitable modifications are made in the vehicle. So, what are the benefits of ethanol blending? Increase in research octane number, which is true. Okay, higher flame speed, which is true. We have seen lesser fuel requirement for the same output, which is wrong. This is one disadvantage we have seen, is that you need more fuel for the same engine output, but you can go at higher efficiency, higher speeds, and there will not be any knocking. So only two are correct. Option B is the right answer. Fine. So which of the following are a part of the biological treatment of wastewater containing hazardous chemicals? Fine. So let us look at what wastewater treatment. The wastewater containing hazardous waste chemicals should be detoxified and neutralized through treatment. There are many technologies available for treating hazardous waste before they are ultimately disposed of. Okay. Their aim is to modify the physical or chemical properties of waste so that they are rendered harmless. So selection of a treatment process depends on many factors such as nature of the waste, desired characteristics of output stream, and economic and energy considerations. So basically, there are different types of treatments. So physical treatment is conducted using various methods such as phase separation. Okay, phase separation includes three steps, namely lagooning, prolonged storage in tanks, and sludge drying in beds. So lagooning and tank storage are collectively used to separate particulate impurities. Okay, so in the gutter, if you're lagooning, basically bringing all the waste material to one point, okay, and collecting in a tank, that is physical treatment. Chemical treatment is to facilitate the complex a complete breakdown of hazardous waste and more usually to modify the chemical properties of the waste. To reduce water solubility or to neutralize acidity or alkalinity, techniques involve oxidation, chemical reduction, neutralization, heavy metal precipitation, oil water separation, etc. etc. Okay, so not just physical, you are using some chemicals to treat the water. Biological treatment is the gross impurities obtained from the treatment of sewage are collectively known as sludge, which is given biological treatment before disposal. Okay, So this is known as sludge processing, which has become important since the improvements in the industrial wastewater treatment. So the typical technologies for sludge processing are conditioning, digestion, composting, thickening, or dewatering and solidification. So conditioning is the sludge is exposed to the atmosphere for a stipulated period of time. Okay. So digestion, in this process, the sludge is treated with bacteria which break down the long chain compounds into simple ones. Okay. So conditioning is exposing to the atmosphere. Digestion is getting it digested with the bacteria. Composting, in this step, organic matter is the waste sludge is converted into a usable stable material. Okay. So even in general, we see the kitchen waste is being turned into compost and all, right, as a fertilizer for plants. So conditioning, digesting, composing, okay, thickening, dewatering, etc. So solidification is the processes that convert liquid waste into insoluble, rock hard materials and are used as pre-treatment prior to landfill disposal. So before dumping the waste into landfills, they are converting the liquid into insoluble rock hard material. So because liquid will take more place, if you put it together, crush it, okay, and make it into a solid, and then you can dump it somewhere in landfill. So this is usually done by mixing the waste with various reactants to produce a solid mass. The basic aim of the solidification process is to immobilize the hazardous constituents of the waste. Okay, so if you dump it straight away over a period of time, the waste materials will leach to the from the land disposal site. Slowly they will start going out. Right, when it rains, the rainwater will carry it, and slowly it will go to the rivers. The marine life gets damaged, etc. Okay, so leaching will also lead to eutrophication and all those things. So solidification is one process. Incineration is basically burning. So apart from the above mentioned methods, incineration is also used as a method of detoxification, in which oxidation of waste detoxifies the waste from its toxic proportion. So basically, in the presence of oxygen, you burn it, right? So these are the different types of wastewater treatments, which is in physical treatment, chemical, biological, conditioning, digestion, composting, solidification, and incineration. So uh, utilization, no, we have not. Which of the following are biological treatment? Composting, conditioning, digestioning, they are biological, right? Okay, so only 2, 3, 4, because lagooning is physical treatment. Lagooning is physical treatment. Only these are biological treatment. Fine. So option C is the right answer. So consider the following national missions being implemented in India. Fine. So So let us look at the various national missions. The National Action Plan on Climate Change (NIPCC) is more like a comprehensive framework. Okay, it's like the umbrella framework. So the National Action Plan on Climate Change is a comprehensive framework for India's climate change strategy. Okay, it was launched in 2008 and outlines 8 key missions to address climate change in various sectors of the economy. Okay, this is all very important. NIPCC is the comprehensive framework. Under that, the 8 missions are National Mission on Sustainable Habitat. So promote sustainable urban planning and transportation to reduce the impact of cities on the environment. Okay, it is executed under the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. Basically, it looks after the cities' urban planning and reducing the effect on the environment, etc. So National Mission for Enhanced Energy Efficiency. So improve the energy efficiency across all sectors of the economy to reduce the greenhouse gas emission. It is executed by the Ministry of Power. Okay, so you want to increase the efficiency of the power sector so that there is a reduction in greenhouse gas emissions. So National Mission for Sustainable Agriculture, NMSA. So promote sustainable agriculture practices to reduce the greenhouse gas emissions and enhance food security. It is executed under the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. Okay, National Water Mission. So conserve and efficiently use water resources to adapt to the impacts of the climate change. Okay, it is executed by the Ministry of Jal Shakti. National Mission for Sustaining the Himalayan Ecosystem. Protect and preserve the Himalayan ecosystem, which is highly vulnerable to the climate change. It is executed under the Department of Science and Technology, Ministry of Science and Technology. National Solar Mission to increase the share of solar energy in India's energy mix. Right now, it is about 80 gigawatts, I believe. Okay, around 80 plus or minus. Okay, so it is executed under the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. So try to remember all these things. Very important. National Mission on Strategic Knowledge for Climate Change. It aims to it aims to generate and disseminate knowledge about climate change to inform policy decisions and adaptation strategies. It is executed under the Department of Science and Technology, Ministry of Science and Technology. So National Mission on Strategic Knowledge for Climate Change. This is by Ministry of Science and Technology. Okay. So this climate change and solar. Okay, solar is new and renewable energy, and this Himalayan system is Ministry of Science and Technology. So remember that this Himalayan ecosystem and this climate change. Okay, this climate change, strategic knowledge, all this is Department of Science and Ministry of Science and Technology. Solar mission is new and renewable energy. Water mission is Jal Shakti. Agriculture is sustainable agriculture is by Ministry of Agriculture. Okay, and enhanced energy production, energy efficiency is Ministry of Power. Sustainable habitat is you might easily get. I mean, we are talking about sustainable habitats and all. You might think of Ministry of Environment or something, but it is Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. Fine. So, National Mission on Natural Farming. So, the National Mission on Natural Farming is a separate and independent scheme launched by the Government of India in 23-24. So, very recently. Okay, National Mission on Natural Farming. It aims to promote natural farming practices in India and to reduce the use of chemical fertilizers and uh, pesticides. Okay, it is not included in the National Action Program for Climate Change. So, this National Mission on Natural Farming is relatively new by Government of India and not part of the NAPCC. And to motivate the farmers to adopt chemical-free farming and enhance the reach of the natural farming, the government has formulated the National Mission on Natural Farming. Okay, as a separate and independent scheme by upscaling the Bharatiya Prakrit Krishi Paddhati. Fine. So this is the new national mission on natural farming, and it is not a part of the 8 missions under the NAPCC. The success of natural mission on natural farming will require behavioral changes in the farmers to shift from chemical-based inputs to cow-based locally produced inputs. Thus, requiring continuous creation of awareness, training, hand-holding on all these things. Okay. So consider the following national missions being implemented in India. National Mission on Natural Farming, yes, that is there. National Mission on Strategic Knowledge for Climate Change. National Mission for Enhanced Energy Efficiency, Ministry of Power and Climate Change. Okay, National Mission for Climate, this is Ministry of Science and Technology. National Mission on Sustainable Habitats, Housing and Urban Affairs. So how many above are not included in the India's National Action Plan on the Climate Change? So simply we saw all these are part of the 8 missions. Only this National Mission on Natural Farming is a something relatively new, 23 to 24, quite recent. So only one is not included in this. Fine. So we have completed 5 more questions. In the next session, we will continue with 5 more questions. Thank you.